Multiculturalism means different things to different people and has been described by politicians as both a strength and a force for good and a failed experiment, bringing more problems than solutions. The Danish government has its own view and vision of the future.
When many non-Western immigrants settle in certain residential areas, it increases the risk of creating parallel religious and cultural societies. Therefore, the government will now work to create mixed housing areas and ensure that in 10 years residents with non-Western backgrounds make up a maximum of 30% in all housing areas in Denmark.
To be classed as a ghetto, an area must have a high number of non-Western migrants, high unemployment and crime, low income and poor education. An area could be all of the above, yet be majority white, and therefore not be classed as a ghetto. By non-Westerners, authorities mean anyone not from Denmark, Switzerland or the EEA countries. And by reducing the numbers of such undesirables in communities, many of the above-listed problems could apparently be solved.
This whole effort is about fighting parallel societies and creating a positive development in residential areas, making them more attractive to a wide range of the population.
I think 30 is maybe kind of a drastic number. I don't know, maybe we could start with like 50.
I prefer different people living side by side, but it's very, very difficult to implement into the society.
It's important that we don't push people out of their homes.
If I was personally a non-Westerner and they would try this way to racially divide us, I would not feel welcome.
Such areas in Denmark already face special treatment, such as doubled penalties for crimes, collective punishment by eviction, mandatory language tests and training in Danish values for kids, and the limit on public housing.
This is a policy rooted in prejudice and racism. And when you are, labeling it as non-Western, which means anybody who's brown, I think it's deeply problematic. And so integration is a two-way street. It can't be the responsibility just of the people who move into any particular country. That's where European governments have failed. They've failed to integrate minority communities because they've always seen them as alien. They've always seen them as not equally part of their societies.
Similar plans came to light a few years back and caused a stir, with even the UN expressing its concern about what it called forced assimilation. Denmark isn't the only European state dealing with the issue of ghettoization. France and neighbouring Sweden have had their own share of troubles.
There is a significant problem right across Europe with the ghettoisation. I remember after some terror attacks in Paris, I went over to one of the estates on the outskirts of town, which was predominantly Muslim. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but what you have a tendency to find is, in a lot of these European cities, there'll be the Muslim area, there'll be the African area, and there'll be the kind of Western area. And what happens is people fail to integrate. Now, I'll be honest with you, I genuinely think that the problem here is that we have let in too many immigrants to Europe too quickly. But whilst this isn't a perfect solution, you can understand where it comes from.
Copenhagen has set an ambitious and unprecedented plan to tackle a political football head-on. Other countries will watch closely to see it sink or swim.